Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the shop tonight. So just wanted to show you some tips and tricks soldering that I've kind of learned here after soldering in the industry for a little while. I'm not going to do a full in-depth of which solder joint's better and why. There's plenty of other videos out there, but this is more just a few tricks that I've picked up along the way, and it's something that can definitely be useful for you guys out there working on cars, working on equipment every day out in the real world. So number one, working on equipment, you'll see this a lot, that there's wires that have conduit built in around them, and you need to get inside of that. And the old way is to take this and just slowly chomp around, and hopefully you don't cut through the wire. Well, this is my favorite method, where you take a nice sharp blade, and I just keep it in my kit over there, and you just pinch the wire like this here, and you just roll the blade back and forth. Slaps right through. So here, check this out. Look at that. And it actually cuts right through that noise isolating ground layer too. This is the titanium blades from Lennox. You can get them at Menards or wherever. Man, these things kick ass. They last 3 times as long as your standard blade. And here, I'll just finish it off here just by slowly rolling it around, not actually cutting or sawing, just pinching and pushing the blade right through. Very lightly, very, very lightly pushing. So here you can see just how it opens right up. Just finish it off. Boom. Nice and easy. Look at that. And the best part about this, you don't have to worry about it cutting into your insulation on the other wires. Awesome, right? Alright, so I'll show you guys my other little trick here for heat shrink. This is my favorite stripper out there that I've found so far. It's a Gardner Bender. I think they're just a cheapy one from Menards. I don't know, 12, 14 bucks, something like that. But this is the best one so far. Also, I've got the Klein, and this one does a good job too, but doesn't, it's just a stripper, not a crimper. This one, I actually have 3 of them. One in my service van, one in the shop, and one in the toolbox I take around. So, but here, I'll just show you guys this trick real quick that I like to use. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. Obviously, you guys have seen these. These things are a lifesaver for helping you when you're out here by yourself and nobody else is there to help feed the wire for you. So we'll just feed this through. I'll just do a standard lineman's joint. That's my favorite. Never had an issue with them, so why change now? Alright. Let's go here. Give me a little room to work with here. And another tip. You guys can actually put heat shrink around the clips, because when you do heat this up, it will, that alligator clip is pretty sharp, and when you have to get the wire at such temperature to actually melt the solder, that insulation becomes pretty soft. So you can actually notice some dimples or cuts. I've never actually had one cut all the way through, but it's noticeable. So if you're doing a lot, I would recommend that you just take some larger heat shrink and one on each side of the clip, and off you go. Okay, I always like to break my solder into little chunks. It just seems you have better control of it that way. Obviously there's flux out there. You can always use the flux. I always just like to tin it a little bit, bounce it off. I've never had an issue not using flux. These solders have so much already into the wire themselves, but so here you go. Just get it wicked in all the way through. Boom. Okay, we'll unplug the soldering iron. Now check this out. Get this out of the way. Wait for it to cool. Okay, so we slide the solder or heat shrink right over. And grab your lighter. People typically always try to hold it like this. Well, that's so hot it ends up burning it. So if you actually bring the heat shrink right into the blue section of the flame, you don't have to worry about burning it. You'll actually burn the insulation around the wire first. Look at that, no burning. Nice. Good retention. Good shrinkage. This is just your cheap heat shrink, stuff you buy from Harbor Freight, ATD. Obviously the better the heat shrink, the better grip you're going to get and better sealing, but that just proves the point that you can use a lighter for your heat shrink instead of the heat gun. And I always have one of these kept in my kit over here along with the soldering iron, my little helping hand, little base. Just to have a nice little kit I put together just to always have. I can take on the road if I need to. Obviously you have your different connectors, everything else. You know, I was really disappointed with this, and maybe it's just the model I have. It just doesn't seem to ever get hot enough. So I always just end up going back to the old little cheap welder that I got from, I don't know, Home Depot for 20 bucks or so. But anyway, that's what I have to share. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.